right, we are back here on Crank Central with another video. I don't want to really waste any time. First and foremost, thank you to absolutely everyone who showed up to the stream yesterday. If you do not know, we had a 6-hour stream reacting to both Independence Showdown and this battle live. Now, the reason that we're doing this video is because a little bit better footage came out. Shout out to Killer Kev, shout out to the videographer crew for Independence Showdown, and those videos will be coming out today and tomorrow. So please sit back, relax, and let's officially get down to business with this battle. Just for clarification, I have already heard this battle in full on the live, and I have heard about half of it already on the wake up this morning. I have some thoughts. Some of them are baked in, some of them are going to be fleshed out a little bit in this video. Let's get straight into it. Shout out to Killer Kev for producing this, for making this, for getting home or getting to the hotel, editing this real quick, putting it out for everybody's consumption. As y'all can tell, I am relatively fresh off the wake up. The only thing I have done is brush my teeth and watch the first 30 minutes of this battle, because I want this to get out as fast as possible. With some reformed opinions, of course. Amazing cutoff. Amazing cutoff on the hangover. Amazing cutoff on the hangover. Alright, y'all. The battle starts now. This battle is a 10 and out per contract. Per contract. This battle is a 10 and out. 10 rounds each. Georgia, you up. Really? Okay, so of course they played this at Meet the GAMB. Still really strong. This is still a solid opener to me. Real big opening. Solid hangover trumpets. It's definitely good to see that they were able to retain a lot of balance despite shrinking that trumpet section a bit, I think. This is a classic Georgia opener compared to a lot of the songs that they've been opening with these past few years. Very big. One tone, what's it called, verses still, but I still think that it's kinetic a lot throughout the band, getting passed throughout the band enough. The motif is really cool. A lot of unison is still very powerful. Mixing in a little bit of hangovers and stuff makes it definitely more kinetic. Dissonant chords. That's a solid round one. That's a solid round one. Like I said, this is the official breakdown of the battle. So that opener gets a 2 for me. That opener gets a 2 for me. Apologies, I'm adjusting screen a bit. off the rip, starting with that wall of sound. Trumpets kind of get swallowed up by that wall. I really like this energy all around though. And it keep moving, it keep building, it's keeping that high energy. It is a consistent wall. It is a very consistent wall. And this is also consistent with Memphis openers. Alright, trumpets, alright, trumpets. Trumpets kind of held into oblivion there. I'm not talking about the length of time, I'm just talking about how they finished the release, I guess. I like this shift because it does a good job of still keeping this energy, especially with this bass line. Good cutoff, good cutoff, good cutoff. For an opener, although that does give a lot of energy between trumpets kind of getting swallowed up throughout that pause, on top of just a little bit of like kind of start to sound like noise after a bit, I'll also get at it too. It will be a 2.5 otherwise. There we go. Good shit. Spicing it up with them runs. Break up that single tone. Good job, Mello's keeping. This is a more kinetic, a more energy-filled, a busier version of that first formula that I was talking about. It's not single tone. It's still bouncing around single tone, still bouncing around low tone. But you mix it up with them trumpet runs. You mix it up with the voicing throughout the band. You mix it up with this very jumpy tuba bass line. I love this. And this is energy that only Mr. Cummins is bringing so far. We're in round 2. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, brother, that's booing. You crazy, dog. You crazy. 2.5 or 3, 2.5 or 3, 2.5 or 3. Oh my god, you niggas can't do shit fucking right. I said this yesterday too. Look at them putting their hands up. Hold on. Like, it ain't us. It ain't us. Y'all not gonna get us in trouble. In terms of score, and I'm not gonna penalize them for mastering a formula. And it deviates from it enough as well, or builds upon it enough as well. Memphis, what you got? Not the strongest walk up for that first walk up run. This is solid. This is solid though. Solid hangover trumpets. This is one of those songs that I knew was going to be played by somebody, and listening to the voicing of the song, it would definitely be Memphis and Mr. Kennedy. And it's a solid arrangement of it. It's a solid arrangement, good execution, passing that motif throughout that band. Breaking up that phrase, I really like its energy. I really like its kineticness. Everybody's holding their own weight throughout that because some of it's just given to trumpets, even though a lot of it is double with upper brass. I do think that gets a 2.5. I think that gets a 2.5. I'm not gonna sit here and play. I've said on this channel before, there is a partial subjective element to threes, so just my feeling of how that song best fits in a band format does come into that. So I ain't objecting. Nobody is. A good transition into that mellowed out part. Good harmony within that upper brass. I wanted more trumpet projection in that that phrase that they were carrying earlier, because I really liked the part, and I felt like the meat of the band had mellowed down for them to be more articulated throughout the music. But overall, I do like this. Although I'm curious to see where the climax does take me. Two and a half, two and a half, two and a half, two and a half. All right, round 3 for you, Memphis. Answering with a similar mood. Good. Good holdout trumpet. Good lead into that verse. Good job not dropping down when they drop out. That same lead-in motif. Good. I really like the structure of this. And a lot of the intricate decisions that I feel like elevate the song even more. Those dynamic differences, the inclusion of certain motifs and certain runs, certain voicing decisions. Great conversation, lower brass. Also a 2.5. Also a 2.5. I think that was an amazing. Some of the weeds into that arrangement really elevated the song. And then once again, like I said, a lot of those decisions that can make or break an arrangement that you have to lush out like that. A little bit more choppy than I want in some areas though as well. opening trombone verse. Okay, good pass up. Good job building on that. Getting into if it was the chorus or pre-chorus. Good job building that down with those trombones here. Literally, if that ending is a little bit more like it goes for a wow factor, I probably end up giving it a 3. I'm giving it a 2.5. I wish I would have given round 3 a 2 now though, because I do think that there's a distinct difference between the level of engagement that the elements in this song has and provides, as opposed to that song that they had in round 3. Both are good, both are great, but there's a difference, and I wish that I reflected that in the score. All right, Memphis, what you got? All right. Picking the pace up, not letting it drag for too long. But you gotta nail it in order to hit this pendulum shift. Shout out to all the nerds that was in the chat yesterday. Within 10 measures, a bunch of Sonic, Super Smash Bros. Y'all some nerd ass niggas. Respect me. Good job. Still playing with weight while playing low. Build this. Build this. Versando. There we go. There we go. That's how you get there. Amazing attack on that trill, you foes. When it comes to nailing those themes, nailing those what I call oftentimes on this channel event pieces, right? Whether it's with an orchestral feel, whether it's a theme from a show or from a game or something, you have to nail the essence of what you're trying to capture. If it's a level song, it has to feel bouncy, it has to feel kinetic, it has to feel like you running collecting coins doing that, or like you are on the platform fighting that. You have to capture it, and that's just as consistent when we talk about R&B tunes, just as consistent when we talk about pop tunes, it's just as consistent as when we talk about rap tunes. You have to capture the essence of whatever mood the song that you selected is trying to tell. You have to bring that out through the arrangement, you have to bring that out through dynamic decisions, and you have to bring that out through, of course, level of execution, right? When it comes to that, I don't think there's a single person that heard that listened to that said that the style that mellows, UFOs, and especially tubas were able to achieve throughout that consistently, like was purely a level of capturing that essence of sound that I think is like impeccable. As for score, 2.5, 3, 2.5, 3, 2.5, 3. I will say shout out to percussion. Definitely knocked the rings out of some of the balance and how I was picking up on the mic. But I was to get at 3. All right, and the response. I believe this is Prince of Egypt. The nerds are in the band world. Come on, trumpets. Shout out to Alexander. He is able to get those time signature changes, tempo changes on the beat. More music, please. Still talking. First note squiggly. First note squiggly. Everybody get one. Good natural. That's so crazy. I didn't know that's what he was saying. I will say that for the extra ending, beginning with that little bit wonky of a pickup from Mellows, even into just how it literally ends, definitely lost a bit of steam. Still 2.5 overall. They telling them to pick up the pace. They telling them to pick up the pace with this. Clear lane for trumpet voicing. Amazing. I would say trumpets got mixed in the weeds a little bit there, but mellows kind of soared in to say today and cover that. There's too many instances within the song that I feel like the music is naturally concluding to a very clear accent from this part, from trumpets, from a mellow run, from whatever. And I felt like the only section that was truly coming out of the band to give me that more than like at a level to where it's like, okay, we are clearly, this part is supposed to shine. This part is supposed to take the lead, even if it's just for a single note, even if it's just for a single passage, even if it's just for this part of the phrase. I feel like the only section that did that was trombones throughout that piece specifically. I would probably end up giving it a 2. And that's because I think that it's so pronounced within the music that not getting that, because I can see sometimes some mellows dipping for it and then others like not to say that dipping is indicative of like how much sound you can give me, but I feel it, I definitely wanted it more consistently throughout the band. And I feel like it kind of was built on that, because it was built on those moments of apex as opposed to concluding to this entirely big climax, because it didn't have that. That's just momentum within a piece, though. All right, this is round 6 coming out of the drum break. Another piece from Meet the GAMB. Good sustainment. Good sustainment. Good projection trumpets. Nice swell. Don't lull me though. Just move. Good pickup. And good job moving throughout that trombone. There we go. You can go back to the original stream that we did covering Meet the GAMB. I was really blown away from their both arrangement and their execution of Summer Madness. I hadn't heard it before. I've definitely gone through and listened to the original song since. In terms of matching the style, matching the vibe and everything, I think that it's written within the arrangement to do it. Once again, this is why earlier I was commending, I want to say both bands, if not Memphis more explicitly, on some of the dynamic differences and decisions that they make within the music that really brought the song out. And sometimes it can be as a band, in general, or it can be this section specific to just keep that energy. Because like I mentioned at the beginning of this, don't lull me with this song, move me, like jazz it up, da 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 da, right? And with it's a tough game when you're trying to find that balance and you just decide on a lot of legato between those moving parts, because a lot of times, or sometimes, it can lead to something either sounding like delayed, like sometimes like Mob will play something, or it can feel like it's too lush if you're truly playing it legato, as opposed to just some stylistic differences. Even with that lick, da 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 da, right? There's so many different ways that you can even just play around with some of the styling of that to give it more life, to give it more bite, to give it a little bit more accent, to play with it how it's played here at the beginning of this phrase, and then at the end of this phrase we're gonna change it up so we can lead in better, so it can feel like more of a cutoff to that section. I don't know, overall it definitely just felt like less execution than the first time that we heard them play it. I feel like it's because of those things that I highlighted. That's what I'm hearing is just some of the stylistic choices that, it's whether it's personal preference or whether it's how my interpretation of how the song can be executed, or just, I don't know, what I know them to be able to do. I'm gonna give it a 2, because I would have given it like a 2.5, if not a 3, when they played it at whatever. And to be honest with you, most of it has nothing to do with trumpets. I think that's a relatively natural trumpet drop off in sound for that last hangover and everything. So I don't know. As well as energy, just the general energy and flow of the battle. The troll begins. The troll begins, yeah. Georgia. This is amazing mezzo piano playing. That's a really good fanfare. Really good fanfare. All right, good job keeping that run throughout the band. UFO sound muted on this. UFO sound muted on this. In that phrase where everybody's playing. Oh. Okay. Okay, definitely picked it up from that verse. No cap, for the mic, this is like the second or third time that for mic pickup percussion kind of killings from like what we can objectively like just hear, just in general. I don't know. I think that I'm also give that a 2. When it comes to that, I really like that Georgia on My Mind opening, of course. You know, get some of the pettiness, some of the trolling. But it was something about the meat of that song. Of course, I felt like UFOs were kind of muted a bit in that one section. And even when they did turn up a little bit, the rest of the band was kind of just, I wasn't really hearing what they were really playing. Like, I wasn't really understanding what to follow. I think the melody was a little bit muddy, and y'all know how I feel about melody being very clear. Now, that also might just be the nature of the song. Haven't heard the song before. Don't know what it is. So, might be because of that. Might be some of that. But just in general, just kind of vibe. Like, it was like, all right, I get we energetic, right? But why? Show me like kind of why. Also, just tonally, everything basically around exact same notes, right? Not much flow within the scale, not much movement really. Unless I'm tripping. I do like a lot of those da licks, right? Whether it's from Mellows, I know UFOs had it. I really like that section where UFOs were kind of scaling and hitting some harmonies low, right? During a build-up portion. But beyond that, yeah, it just kind of defaulted to noise after a second. I'm not gonna lie to you. All right. And I know, like, even songs like that, stuff like that, sometimes that can be a little bit controversial, because some people is like, you just gonna feel it, and I'm just not. So I get it. Throughout all this, let me know y'all grades, y'all opinions throughout the entire battle, please. Free for all in the description, in the comment section. Okay, I like that passage a bit. Between UFOs and upper brass. It's a good conversation. Shout out to someone who mentioned it yesterday in the stream. Some of Georgia's tuba OGs, and not present this year. I like that build. I like that chord that it built to. Tempo did get a little bit wonky, not just with that tuba back and forth, but adjusting to the new tempo. It's like I can hear where it's written in for the band to like take another step. I can hear them playing like in an upper register that is like definitely elevating the level of intensity of the piece. I'm just not feeling the power, I suppose. And that might just be that might be just the reality of the fact that we watching this recorded as opposed to in person. But like, I don't know, I can feel it on some stuff and I can't feel it on others. I don't know if it's because my eye, like I'm listening with my eyes a little bit, or if it's literally just like, let me know. Like I'm trying to have this conversation with people in the comments, right? Is it the trap of the fact that we are listening and watching this, or is it like they just not creasing that shit? Like the mellows not creasing that. Trumpets, you can hear the screams, but at the end of the day, you have a wall of however many trombones, and you still gotta play over that. You still got a sky high over that. Or you have too many layers within that chord because you go into the 9th or the 11th, and so because of that, that muddies that. And like the focus of the intensity goes to the dissonance created from that chord as opposed to the melody. Or is it that the chord is too strong, and so because of that, like with a 1-3-5, even just potentially 7, or a 1-2-5-7, or a 1-2-4-6 or 7 or something diminished, right? It's just harder for the part that's taking us to that next level to sky high and like be really heard and felt over that. I don't know what it is within the writing or within the playing, but the intensity is not being felt at a time when it needs to be. It's written for it to be. It's not hitting that. That's a 2. All right, heading over to Memphis. Heading over to Memphis. It's like I can hear the range, but I can't feel it. I don't know. It's weird. It's very weird to me. Okay, I'm following. I'm following. Damn, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. First part was actually a little bit iffier than I initially thought when we were watching the live. But that back half, and just the energy of it all, the power felt in a lot of those chords, accented by mellows especially. Okay, they're answering the call. They're answering the high energy call. I said this yesterday, I'm going to say it again. I hate that they are only answering it by playing a dancer tune specifically, in terms of increasing the pace. Good run. There's also an over-hate for dancer tunes, though, so I don't want to fall into that. That's solid. That's a solid upper tempo, high tempo, really high energy. Upper voicing. I'm bouncing between a 2 or 2.5. I'm thinking 2. I think there's more to do with that. This is a dangerous song to give someone who specializes in call and responses, by the way. Good voicing. Slip off, slip off. Yo, this is going crazy. Look, I want to ISO this because there's a lot of fallout from this song. Of course, like some people are saying in the damn fields. That's crazy. In the crowd. There's a difference between playing to the crowd and playing effectively to the crowd, right? And I saw a little bit of back and forth on Facebook with this, with a shout out to the GAMB crew, engaging in some modern discourse. The thing is that I think that there is a level of execution that generally you just have to hit in order to still resonate a piece like this within getting the audience, right? Of course, whenever people hear a common motif or a motif that they recognize, they're gonna call it out, they're gonna hop on it. It's gonna be like, oh my god, it's that song, and then they're gonna sing along, it's gonna whatever, right? Let's not act as though it's like, oh, the second you play a recognizable song, you've won the round. That is not how the band world works. It's not how this thing works. Bastardized, well-liked songs are recognized all the time. It's like, that's not a thing. It's not an automatic round win, right? But I will say there can still be flaws within it. There can still be flaws with it. There's flaws within each and every one of these songs. It's not my job to go through and nitpick them all, because we're talking about accumulating 200 plus musicians to play simultaneously in a hot environment, blowing hot ass air. None of this shit's gonna be perfect. Some of this shit is gonna be good enough, right? Execution for this song, with a lot of moving parts that had a lot of back and forth, different phrasing, different articulation within a phrase being executed, being proposed and being executed, a lot of different timing requirements of relying on cues, especially towards the end of the song, but even just trying to make the mold mesh and trying to make the song mesh between that da 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 da, keeping that motif and keeping it moving and not having it just be the job of a single section is really hard to do, and it was executed. That's something that I think, like, within music like this can often go under recognized, is how to recreate those effects within this, right? We saw it in 23 with Memphis, with the run that they had, da 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 da, going into the bars song. I say that to say, yes, this has mistakes. Yes, trumpets slipped off that holdover, and yes, that's anticlimactic. Absolutely. Yes, there's a little bit of mixing issues in terms of some clarity. Absolutely. Overall, though, execution is still amazing enough, and there's enough facets that go into what makes a good, great, and amazing band song, what goes into a good, great, amazing arrangement, that lend this to still be, in my opinion, a 2.5. All right, 2.5 for that. We got a close one. This is closer than a lot of people have been led to believe on the internet so far. But let's see. Last 2 rounds. We are in round 9. Good run, you folks. Good drive. I don't even think this is a dancer tune. I think they're just doing a routine to it. I could be wrong. Oh my god. Yo. Y'all funny at these battles. There we go, trumpets. Finally going the same way. Still not. I like that build up and build out of that. Good accent mellows. Ah, UFOs. That was ashy. And that ending. Damn. Oh no. I was gonna get that at 2.5. Oh God. I want to get that at 2.5 so bad, but when it comes to like nailing that, I feel like the breakdown into that UFO passage was so dependent on that, like that sounding as airy as it did, lack of support, sounded like some people just resorted to some chest breathing. Tubas did a good job of driving, but I do feel like the intensity, well, the prominence, I guess you could say, of their presence in that a lot of times single tone bass line bring out pushback a little bit. Felt like some of those decisions needed to be a little bit more drastic, specifically with that trumpet passage. Y'all chill out a little bit. Let them scale through. Let them breathe. But beyond that, it really comes down to those last like 8 measures. UFOs, I said ashy, I meant ashy. And beyond that, just a relatively lackluster ending for a pretty energetic piece throughout. That's enough to go down to it too. There's some instances where like a section being relatively lackluster is inconsequential enough to where it can sustain its score, it can sustain its standing as like a great piece mostly, right? But there's some instances to where that section is relied upon too much for the energy of the song, or just the effectiveness of the piece, because no one likes to hear a bad ending. You know, sometimes just pieces just rely on energy being constant. Hold on. Y'all know how I feel about the door. All right, no run. Nah. Crease that, mellows. Alright, good accent, you folks. Ah. That's a 2. That's a 2. That's a 2. And y'all know I love that song. Y'all know I love that song. The best arrangement of it so far has been from Mr. French at Carver. I think that fumbled a bit of opportunities and made too many alterations to what is already an amazing foundation for a melody, a relatively easy to follow melody, some counter melody opportunities, some interpolation opportunities. Relatively lackluster. And I don't know what that percussion fill was. Last round. GAMB, what you got? Some youthful strugglage as they continue to climb up there. I feel like this tuba bass line doesn't retain the rest of the song's energy at all. I don't know. Okay. I say, hey, some would say the real battle is happening over here on screen. That also gets a 2. That's very whatever. I almost want to get out with it. I'm 1.5. I don't think that was a good finisher at all. I don't think that was a good finisher. I think that incorporated some of the worst aspects of GAMB arrangements with just like single note, whatever. I feel like it was relatively weak. I feel like it was not befitting of the energy that this battle was headed towards and leading to. It also just wasn't strong and powerful. I don't know. Funny enough, I think this sounds like something that I would traditionally hear GAMB play, but with the pressure that Memphis has consistently added more than them. And because of that, it's more effective. The runs are clean. That trumpet hangover adds some color. There's a lot of different color being added by what's it called? Some of the way that even just like he's utilizing upper brass within each other. It's just more effective. I don't know. Good build. Good walk down mellows. Yeah, they just did GAM better than
Were you
GAM.
recently injured in a car accident? If so, you need to stop.
They just did GAM better than GAM. Oh my god. 2.5. 2.5. They just did GAM better than GAM to me. I don't know. Like, that was very, like, GAM coded. Yeah, bring it back. Bring it back. Like, and hopefully this doesn't breach contract, because it's not another song. It's the same song. Shout out to the transparency of band politics, man. And while this is happening, this is the 10th round, and I don't think GAM plays anything after this. I don't think they did. I think Memphis just ran their gauntlet afterwards. Let me add up these scores. Clean. Dang, man. Dang, man. Well, as for the battle, that's all she wrote. They are filing out. They did file out after this. They did file out after this. And this is a repeat as well, so hopefully this also doesn't breach contract. If you're not here for the extra songs, of course the time codes are there for the very end of this battle, so you can just get to the scores and the overall takeaways. We're gonna stay for a few of these extra songs though. I'm on my second screen. Apologies. On my second screen, I'm sitting here making sure that my math is correct. Damn. 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 Hey, if people from all around the culture. And it's some Memphis folk, of course. Taking what they assume to be their dub, they victory lap. Yeah. All right. My scores are right. My scores are right. I got the final. Yo. Brother getting in the camera so crazy style. That tuba walk. Oh my god. Them chords walking is crazy. Shout out to Prof Snipes over there. Now I did not hear the extra songs that they played afterwards. I did not hear that indeed. Because the live had ended, or we had left it on stream. I'm forgetting which one. Let me see what else they end up playing. I know GAMB Tuba's calling out over there and everything, but I'm trying to see. They just showcasing it. They just showcasing. Mind you, they do have another battle versus New Orleans next week, so I'm.
Everybody good? Thumbs up if you're good. If you just smash through, just say hell yeah. We about to play storytelling because Scooby had one to tell, and we just whooped their ass, didn't we, y'all?
Oh my god. This brother's something else, man. Yeah, I figured this was storytell. Yep. The classic. The Craig Mott classic. The elevation that they do give this song as a full band is definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it. And it's what I was talking about in the stream of their first battle. That's so impressive. Shout out to what's it called? I think he graduated now, but formerly Craig Mott, tuba section leader. He's been in the front for like 2 to 3 years now. Jackson getting a dog. Jackson is indeed getting a dog over there. They bringing it back. To the people that's still here, I know y'all are fiending for these scores. I know y'all are fiending for these scores. Because I definitely have it closer than a lot of people. Just in general, I have it closer than a lot of people do. Yeah, things don't really Things actually completely shift for me after the drum battle. He told him nothing extra. Told him nothing extra. Making sure nobody dropped the ball. He hit that. He hit that super C. He hit that super. He hit that super. He hit that super. All right, now what else was played? What else was played?
People love to give flowers. I told y'all, flowers die a couple days later. We are playing. There is a right way to do something. A right way to do it. A right way to do it. We worked it 25 years. Don't ever let nobody tell you what's different. Memphis running this summer band. We do it. God ain't gonna let people that's them stop you. But you gotta be focused. You gotta be committed. You gotta be willing to do the best like you did, man. And I'm damn proud to be up there. Absolutely proud. Clap it up for that. Absolutely proud.
Oh, that's all they ended up running? For the final scores of this battle, and for the winner of this one-on-one, I have Georgia Mass Band with a score of 22 through 10 rounds. And I have Memphis Mass Band with a score of 23.5 through 10 rounds, making Memphis the winner. Believe it or not, if you were keeping up, I put the scores on the screen. I don't know how many of y'all keep up with my scores as opposed to grading yourself. But before halftime, I had Georgia winning by like a half point. Georgia had a 3. Well, both bands had a 3, but Georgia had a 3 that put them up. And then in the round right before the drum break, they had a 2.5, while Memphis had a 2. After the drum break, I think that Georgia's song selection, as well as the execution that they had of their songs and of their arrangements, did not match a lot of the style that they were hoping for. I think that they fell into a similar trap to 2023, where some of their songs sounded monotonous. It wasn't the whole note ministry that some people try to get off. But in terms of single tone verses, it's definitely quite a bit of that. In terms of, in my opinion, some lackluster building up of energy and entropy throughout a song, definitely some of that. A lot just like going from 6 to 10, or attempt to go from 6 to 10, but the power for a lot of these tunes weren't there. And specifically, I want to say that in that second half, it ended up being a lot of like the back half of songs where it would just run out of gas, where if it's a point of finality and climax, it just didn't sound powerful enough. If it was a point to where one section was being isolated or was supposed to sit on top of the band, that wasn't made clear enough, and it wasn't as impactful as I believe it could have been and should have been, because of the way that the music was written. For Memphis, definitely a fair share of some clarity issues, especially as I commented on some of the airiness that comes on just the playback, to be honest with you, from percussion. I don't know if it's how the stands are built. I don't know if it's hard to overplay outside or whatnot. Sometimes things just come out differently on mic than they do in person, or it might just be the strength of their percussion. But one thing that I will say is that regardless of that, I believe that a lot of the kineticness in their arrangements kept some very nice color, some very nice energy throughout their songs that they were more often than not able to retain and able to consistently provide. a lot of the intangibles that comes in this stuff. You can say that it's playing to the crowd. You can say that it's playing popular arrangements. Probably the most popular song that they play. Well, let me not joke on let me not downplay 1,000 Miles. 1,000 Miles is probably, like, definitely the most popular song all time that they ended up playing here. That or the fanfare of Georgia on My Mind. But the more popular modern song that they played, I gave a 2. I gave that Kendrick song a 2, like 30 for 30 or whatever it's called. I gave it a 2. It was tied for their lowest score of the battle. They had 4 2s. So just popularity and just like winning the crowd, that's not, it is a factor, but I'm at home, nigga. I'm in these 4 walls. Like, I don't, you know, but it's just the level of energy, entropy that you can sustain, that you can showcase, a level of power, the wall of sound that now for the second one-on-one in a row, Memphis has sustained at a higher level than Georgia, which is something that Georgia, I believe, had mastered in 22, but Memphis very quickly took the title from them in terms of just creating a very consistent and prominent wall of sound throughout their entire band, throughout an entire song. They've nailed that more than Georgia on a multitude of occasions, and I think it showcased itself throughout this battle. If you agree, let me know in the comments. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. This is a place and a space where I want everyone to share their opinions, to share their takeaways and whatnot, and I can't wait to go through it, to be honest with you. Thank y'all for watching this. I know this has been a long one, but we are nowhere near done with this summer season. Independence Showdown, New Orleans versus Mob will be coming out soon, and then also we will be getting the other bands of Independence Showdown as well, leading into next week, where we will be doing yet another multi-long hour stream, multi-battle covering stream to cover next week. Carolina Crankfest, potentially Mayhem in the Mecca. I'm blanking on what it's called. Dark Carnival, excuse me. Even though I might be in attendance at Dark Carnival, we might do the stream on Sunday instead. But yeah, as well as the GAM and Mob one-on-one. Now that stream will come on Sunday as opposed to Saturday live, because I'll be in New Orleans potentially for the Dark Carnival unless it's raining. So, but tune in for that. Thank y'all for making the kids' dreams reality. This channel is doing absolutely amazing with all the support and the love that's been shown. It's summer season. We here, we tapped in. Thank you for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Peace and crank up.